Those who follow the way of the greatest Creator will have a wonderful and successful life. Xiefeng. February 13, 2011. There is a kind of life, which is free of care and worry for food and clothing, rich in care and love, healthy in body, and successful in all things. There is a kind of life, which is beset with troubles and worries, plagued with miseries and pains, devoid of care and love, and fraught with twists and turns. There is yet another kind of life, which alternates between brightness and darkness, rise and fall, happiness and worries, and adversity and favorable circumstances. Why? Is life a matter of predestination? What has caused the differences, the times, the society, friends and relatives, the nature, or any other factor? My understanding is that whether one has a good life or not is determined by the course of life he takes. To get the resources for life, some people depend on their own hard work, some people on other people's hard work like parasites, some people resort to blackmail and exploitation, some people engage in corruption and theft, and some people sail under false colors. The different way one makes use of to get resources leads to a different course of life, a different reel of experience, a different outcome, and of course a different life. Of the infinitely diverging roads of life, which is the best? My belief is that the best road of life is the way of the greatest Creator. To have a successful and wonderful life, one has to follow the way of the greatest Creator. In another word, following the way of the greatest Creator is the most reliable guarantee for a smooth and wonderful life. No other road can bring so much happiness and blessing to man as the way of the greatest Creator. Is this really the case? We can observe, experience, practice and validate by ourselves. My conclusion is, if a person has enjoyed a successful and wonderful life, then most certainly he has been following the way of the greatest Creator all his life. If a person's life is mixed with happiness and grief and characterized by dramatic fluctuations, then he has been following the way of the greatest Creator but has sometimes strayed away from it. If a person's life is fraught with troubles, and twists and turns, then it can be said most surely that he has never followed but has deviated the way of the greatest Creator. Is there any theory to substantiate the above conclusion of mine? I am trying to prove the conclusion with the several connotations of the way of the greatest Creator. Just see for yourself whether there is sense behind my reasoning. One important connotation of the way of the greatest Creator is the compliance with nature without any forced actions. He will have a successful and wonderful life if in his life a person takes things as they are, associates with others by following the predestined relations, act in accordance with his nature, and takes advantage of the opportunities as they arise, never forcing anything upon anybody, and never imposing on himself or others. Accept whatever comes your way, and let go of those that have set their minds on leaving. You do not overdo your pursuit, and yet do not give up your endeavor. Have peaches when peaches come your way and have apricots if apricots come your way. Do not reach for what is beyond your grasp, do not have a sense of inferiority, do not indulge in extravagance and dissipation. Do not lead a lazy life. In this way, you can have a wonderful and smooth life free of great fluctuations and frustrations. The second content of the way of the greatest Creator is non-action, no contention, and no ego. One should not be arrogant even if he can afford the 5-star hotel and should not feel inferior if he has only a thatched hut to live in. One should feel grateful for the delicacies he has but should also be content with simple meals. One should never contend with anybody for anything, and does not reject what is duly his. One should let go of anything that is not duly his. One should not deliberately plan and scheme to obtain anything. One should be satisfied and content with what others are not content and satisfied with. One should never be insatiably greedy. Just take a small ladle of water from a huge river, do not act like a hog, do not angle for fame and wealth and rank. Be contented to a poor life and devote to spiritual fulfillment. Always consider others' interests before one's own. In this way one will not suffer setbacks and adversities. The third content of the way of the greatest Creator is love. A person will not incur grudge and resentment and will certainly enjoy a smooth and wonderful life if he contributes instead of demanding things from others, if he sets his mind on other people's joy, happiness, freedom and blessing instead of creating trouble and shackles for others, suppressing and controlling others, seizing what others are interested in, restricting others' freedom, bullying and cheating others, comparing and haggling with others, and maltreating and killing life, and if he treasures all living beings, respects all living beings, does not stand in other people's way, and is willing to sacrifice himself for the sake of others. The fourth content of the way of the greatest Creator is faith. Jesus Christ is the Son and Messenger of the greatest Creator, who conveys to us the information and will from the greatest Creator. Jesus teaches us that we need only pursue the access to the kingdom of the greatest Creator and follow the way of the greatest Creator, and that we need not worry about tomorrow and the future and need not worry about all aspects of our life because the greatest Creator will provide us everything that we need and has made all arrangement for us. As long as we embrace this faith, we will have a smooth, safe, and successful life. The way of the greatest Creator has 8 major connotations, of which the above 4 contents are enough to secure us a successful and wonderful life. We should stick to faith, love, no ego, no contention, non-action, compliance to nature, and no employment of force. Our life will teem with troubles, miseries, worries, fears, and frustrations and twists and turns if we lack faith and love, if we engage in action and contention, if we are selfish and do not follow the law of nature but force our will on nature. How do you think, dear readers? Is there any sense in what I have said? If it makes sense, then adjust your thinking and consciousness immediately and unswervingly follow the way of the greatest Creator.